Hola, bienvenido. Yo soy Jerry, and this is Rauta. So let's welcome a Spanish band playing thrash metal called Redimoni. And this band has been here for more than 20 years now, since 2000s, coming from Barcelona, Catalonia. And indeed, they play old school thrash metal. Now, the band sent me a message to review some of their material, but before we go on to the given EPs in question, quick look to the band's history. So founded in 2000, first EP out in 2005, then a couple of full albums, and then going for splits and EPs, or split and EPs. And the members list looks like they have still a couple of original members in the band, then some newer ones, and past members list features a few individuals who have left the band by this time. So the EPs in question today are On the Brink of Existence EP from 2021 and Downfall and Penance a year later. Now, I was told that these two EPs are two first parts of a trilogy, and the third part is coming later on. One could have figured out it should be year 2023, like EP a year, but sometimes things get a little bit delayed. So these two are in question, and I'll go them from earlier to newer one. First we have this On the Brink of Existence, having somewhat goofy cover. No offense, but to me it seems like, okay, we don't really have a budget for the cover, so let's ask girlfriend or brother to, do a drawing and send colors and all that stuff. No offense, this ain't too pretty, and to be honest, if I was picking a CD from a flea market or, some kind of a record collector secondhand stuff, this wouldn't be my first to pick based on the cover alone. But obviously, covers and names are something that you don't, I hope, get too much, to decide or affect what kind of albums you're picking when you're buying for music. Like I said, this is EP, a little bit less than 18 minutes in total. Then we had the second album, which I don't know if the graphics are much better, but at least it doesn't look as goofy. Also an EP, this time about 14 minutes. So not too different from the original one. Both are, as you can see, threefold digipacks. However, this second one is actually CDR. Now, it doesn't really matter to most people these days. I mean, since the quality is all that and you can't really see this difference between the self-financed covers here. But one thing is for sure, my old Cambridge Audio CD player is a little bit picky when it comes to CDR and had trouble, playing out this one. I mean, it did first, but then it started like, no, I'm gonna decline it. And also there's some kind of disturbance in the noise. Sometimes it has something to do how the CDRs are burned and all that stuff, because it never really happens with the manufactured CDs. But nonetheless, these are both pretty okay looking digipacks, at least, I mean, if you just ignore the somewhat not pretty cover. So what you can expect is two EPs worth of old school thrash metal, and like the band itself, it's playing homage, a tribute to 1980s kind of a thrash metal. So what can you really expect from the albums or EPs coming from 2021, 2022 is to go back all the way from like something like 25 years earlier. And that's pretty cool because, in fact, these are both good EPs. Now, I gave both a few spins and I was trying to figure out which one I would choose based on the material, the songwriting. And to be honest, they are equal. The thing is, they are both boasted by, good production, guitars sounding heavy, drums powerful, vocals, everything, mixing, mastering. It is like done properly. The thing here is, these don't sound like weak productions, like, hey, we ran out of budget, just like do it with a laptop or kind of a thing. but more like, yeah, you get the proper equipment, you have the proper mixing, and everything is nicely in balance and all that stuff. And I find it very, very important when we're talking about thrash metal. I mean, with black metal, you often give like a little bit leeway, like, okay, it's punk, it's black metal, you know, you're supposed to be kind of a lo-fi. But when we're talking about thrash metal, you really want to have that powerful thing where the giggers around sound like, you know, they're ripping her head off and all. Now, the second point, which I of course find equally or even more important, is the songwriting. And that is pretty cool, because the thing here is these guys have, you know, proper mosh parts. They have the kind of a, you know, traditional thrash riffing from the 80s that you really kind of makes you mosh. And on top of that, you have the kind of a high-pitchy vocals, which are not like, you know, some Tomaraya with Slayer or some Exodus or Metallica work, but more on the screamer sort of thing. I was trying to think which kind of vocalist should come to my mind, but like my mind was like blank. Then I was starting, maybe it's a little bit overkill-like, maybe there's a little bit of early suicidal tendencies kind of a thing, but not really comparable, not that equally. However, when it comes to the overall feeling, I was just thinking of Exodus. I'm not saying the riff are that similar and all, but overall feeling is this is very, very American made of thrash metal. I mean, there's of course difference when you compare it to, say, certain like Finnish or German kind of thrash metal. Not that Finland is that known, but the point here is it's kind of like something that you would probably think coming from United States. And that alone should tell you something, because a lot of those bigger thrash metal bands are actually coming from US. Whether we're talking about the A-series, you know, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, or the big ones, but the not big four ones like Exodus or Testament, or bands like Dark Angel, Death Angel, you get the idea. Violence and who knows what. And this is something that really could be one of the bigger bands. I mean, they sound almost fantastic, not exactly as powerful as modern as Angelus Apatrida, which is also from Spain, but they're on a bigger label and they sound more pro in that sense. This sounds more like classic kind of thing. Not saying Angelus is doing anything wrong, but I kind of prefer this more down-to-earth, you know, thing rather than big studio budget thing where everything is almost like sterile. Anyway, Redimoni is doing good job with the songs. I really think these are able to challenge and even tackle some of the more big band albums out there. However, it's not without flaws, and the major flaw is, if any, that these don't really have those big ass hit songs. I'm talking about these ain't no, obviously, you know, the Angels of Death or Ride the Lightnings or what have you. So I'm saying like basically this is A-series band in terms of songwriting, but they're still missing some parts which really would separate them from the good but not great bands. And I think that's part of something that the band needs to figure out in order to really become to be mentioned among the legends. It's by now more like an underground thrash metal band from Spain, which is probably going to slide under the radar for so many people out there. But I think if you're thrash metal fanatic, there's no reason to skip Redimoni just because it's from Spain or just because it's not one of those big ass bands coming from the scene, which you should already know because everybody keeps mentioning Sodom or Creator or Destruction and the like. I don't know if there is any other flaws, minor or whatnot, to be mentioned, because I really like these EPs. Like I said, it's not totally 5 out of 5 stuff, not really, but say 4 out of 5, and I think that should be worth something, in my opinion anyway. So 2 good EPs for you to check out, and let's keep thumbs up for these Spanish hermanos, that they will come back with more fierce power and all, because I'm already liking what I'm hearing, and I guess they can be even better than that. So ready to challenge a lot of those older bands, and that should be worth something. Now off you go, check out the links provided in the description box, and I hope you like it. Bye bye. Adios.